The reason Barack Obama is sitting in the White House today is not because black folk put him there. It's because good-minded Americans who did not want to feel uncomfortable when they came to the Piedmont Club or went to their country club, didn't want to feel uncomfortable when their black friends were there and asked them, who are you voting for? And they wanted to vote for change. Well, boy, have we gotten change. My time in the White House, I can go on about this, but I'll leave part of this just for questions and answers. But here's what I find very ironic right now. Let me start out by saying this. There's one thing that I greatly respect about our president that is not spoken about, that is not really addressed very often, and that is this. For the first time in my lifetime, my children have a role model outside of their mom and dad that reflects a strong, loving, caring black family. Many of our black children today don't see that. But we see that in Barack, President and Mrs. Obama and their two daughters. We see that. What's, again, ironic about that is his policies destroy that very thing for everybody else. They want to destroy it in our military. They want to destroy it in our communities around the country by advancing an agenda that is harmful to our community in particular. We know that we are strongest when we have a mother and father who are combined, working together. But also, here's the interesting thing. In my time in the White House, I remember August 31st very vividly. I was the only one in the White House at the time, senior staff, when Hurricane Katrina hit. President and the other senior staff were all out at the ranch in Texas. And I remember getting a call from a certain member of the staff asking me to take charge of some of the response efforts and working on that. And this is something that's not been shared, is not known, but I was the only person in the White House at the time who was receiving calls from within inside the Superdome. And I had a close friend who several years before had come to me with Mayor Nagin to my office and presented to me a plan for an emergency response system. And my comment to them was, you should not use the Superdome because it is not designed for emergency response. You will get trapped there and you'll not be able to recover from that. Fast forward 3 years, Katrina hits, and I start getting calls about water running out, violence taking place in this place, not having medication and all. And I watched that deteriorate so rapidly. How many days did it take before the press began to attack President Bush over that issue? 2, 3? Yeah, let's give it 6 days. By the time we flew down, when we did go down 3 days after, I was with the president when he went down first. And by the time we flew down there, we walked through the lower 9th Ward, saw much of that. And it was already over for him. He was challenged and he was already vilified. I'll never forget sitting in the White House, in the cabinet room, when the president was there with senior leaders, Republicans and Democrats, and there was a Democrat sitting in front of me. We had positions, it was very orderly, you had a place where you sat, and the Democrat sitting in front of me, he made a statement to the president. He said, Mr. President, he said, if I hadn't seen that on TV myself, I didn't know those sorts of conditions existed in this country. And I literally had to restrain myself from reaching over and smacking him upside his head and saying, welcome to America. That was my reaction. But that was sort of thing. Fast forward to 48 days ago. We have a disaster that takes place off the coast of where? New Orleans. Affecting that entire community. And 48 days into it, have you heard anybody calling for a certain president's head? Calling for taking over. In fact, I believe our president has already announced that he's in charge, but he's not responsible. He's in charge, but he's not responsible. Is that leadership? Is that leadership? No.
Zero.
Zero leadership. George W. Bush, I'll never forget sitting on Air Force One with him, with Governor Blanco, Mayor Nagin, senators, both senators, and Congressman Jefferson from the ninth Ward there, and the president said, I will take responsibility for this. I will take responsibility. That is leadership.